to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Let's go directly to our telephones. Hello?
Hello, Mr.
Hello, yes, good.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, first time on your program.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you.
Yes. No, it is so sad, I believe, that after so many years, after emancipation of slavery, that we are now sitting down to talk about repatriation money.
To talk about what?
You know...
repatriation.
Yes.
Yes. Reparations.
Reparations
yes.
money, sorry.
Uh-huh.
No, I believe, that these are a direct and deliberate intention to divert our minds from the real situation in our country here.
Well, that is true, too. I believe that there's an element of truth in that.
Because, I wonder if we look and see the conditions in our country. And I wonder if it is as a result of slavery that we have been hampered to this effect. Because, you hear people that talk about what is happening in Cuba, what is happening in America, what is happening in Palestine,
yes,
what is happening in Iraq. And we don't talk about what is happening here.
Yes.
You understand? So I want to find out if what is happening here has any bearing, or if what happens in America has any bearing so much to affect us in Jamaica, and what is happening in Iraq, and what is happening to all those places.
Well, sir, we all live in the same world. And what happens in one place, if it is things that happen in one place can affect people who live in another, because if the American economy is in trouble, we are going to be affected here, right? Because it is going to affect the level of demand in the United States for goods that we can supply. Right. Assuming that we can supply any goods.
But Mr. Perkins,
yes.
When I was going to school, and I was reading history, and I read about slavery, I said, yes, slavery was really an evil system. But when I read further and recognized that it was the same Africans who were facilitators, of this system.
Yes, they were supplying the slaves to the to the ship.
Right, and because the Europeans did not know the intricate part, of those different countries.
Well, I don't know whether that is the problem, but the fact of the matter is that Africans were supplying Africans to the European slave traders.
Okay, and right? so Mr. Perkins, we hardly hear about that, All we're thinking about is just this compensation.
Yes.
After so many years, man, we should be talking more about what is the developmental process and what mechanism we are putting in place to help to develop this country further.
Yes.
That is because this is Mr. Perkins. If we even get $400 billion of money, this country might not move.
Who is to get
the same thing?
Who is to get the $400 billion?
Well, right? I don't know. I believe it's those up top going to collect that. And
well, I don't know. I mean, but look here. Why should the British pay us whatever it is when we ourselves have been beneficiaries of slavery? Right?
Well, yes.
I mean, look, our ancestors suffered.
Yes.
Right? There is nothing that we can do about that at this point.
That's it.
And there is little value, in my view, in moralizing about history.
Right.
Right?
Right.
What happened. We can moralize about the present. Right? Because the morality is a guide to conduct.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, that is true.
But moralizing cannot guide the conduct cannot today in the 21st century guide the conduct of the 15th century.
That's right.
Right?
That
is gone and past.
It's time to move on.
Yes.
I don't say you can't take a retrospective look, but more take an introspective and a perspective look at what...
And look to see what what developments have come out of that process.
That's right.
Right?
Understand? And move on, man.
And how it affects us today, and what opportunities it presents us.
Look at what we are doing to each other today. Right? We say 98%
yes.
is black. And is it slavery that caused us to be so corrupt and so evil towards each other?
No.
You understand?
No.
Mr. Perkins, I walk the streets of America. You know, some late nights.
Yes.
Right? And I'm traveling from in the 80s. And believe you me, I've never been confronted, whether by a black or a white individual, in terms of someone want to be violent. And I walk so late at night. And in your own country, where we are born, we are fearful.
Yes.
You understand? No.
Well, let me ask you something, sir. You see the things that the police have done to people in this country, right?
Yes.
The shootings of women and children in Tivoli Gardens, right? Which slave owner in the 17th century,
that's right,
would have been content to see his slaves treated like that?
That's a big question.
Yes. But of course it happens in 21st century Jamaica when we are free. That's and it's black man time now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and it just pass another little thing.
Yeah,
right?
You know.
Janice Allen, Adana Barrett. Right? Don't matter. Hold on just a moment.
Listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you here.
Yeah, Mr. Perkins, you know, I still give another chance. But all I'm saying, I believe now it's time for us, you know, to really sit down, man, and examine what is going on.
Yes.
You know, and analytically.
And look intelligently at it.
Yes.
Yes.
You understand? I don't talk about those trivial things, man. Those things are past and gone. Let us move forward.
Yes, indeed.
Because no matter what amount of money we get, we would still be asking questions. Where is the money gone? You understand? So I just want to big you up. And, you know, I listen to your program. And really, one of the reasons I listen to your program is that some of the things that you talk about, you were ridiculed. But I see them happening in our very eyes right now. Right? And it shows that there's some amount of integrity. Right? And there is some amount of genuine concern for people here in this country. And I just want to wish you long life and hope, because you are irreplaceable. No one can replace you.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, that is what I think. Thank you very much, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Have a good Christmas. And Happy New Year, if you can. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon,
sir. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
There's a little bit of problem here. You know what really happened is each day you turn the radio on, you hear these people coming in and talking about tourists.
Coming and talking about what?
About tourists.
Yes.
Now, it's no harm in talking about tourists, eh? But the point is, why don't they do the basic thing for Jamaicans? Now, yesterday I heard a bloke come on your program, And there was one this morning also from Montego Bay talking about public toilet.
Public
toilet.
Yes.
Now that is something basic for the basic Jamaicans.
Yes.
And nobody ever talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Now, another thing. All these big supermarkets that building, how the blazes could the mayor or the council give license to these people without having public toilet in them? Over the world you travel. Over the world, because I do travel a lot, I can assure you. And each supermarket you went in, there always be a public toilet in them.
Yes.
Simple reason, because there's pregnant women and children going to these supermarkets.
Uh-huh.
And there's no public toilets in them.
Well, I don't know that there are supermarkets without toilets, sir.
Not one, I can assure you.
Not one?
One. I've never seen one.
No, I think they have toilets. If you ask,
which one is that, sir?
If you ask, they will point it out to you.
Yeah, but they're only for staff.
No. I don't think so.
The
public has access to them.
Well, I've never seen one with public convenience for the people that go through the door, because it's supposed to be when you go through the door and somewhere in the back there.
Uh-huh.
And it should be hidden away. It should be signed that the people come through the door can see.
Oh, well.
I've never seen one.
Uh-huh.
You see? And
ask when next you go to a supermarket.
Well, I don't really need it, but I'm just saying it should be there.
Yes, all right.
And it should be hidden away. It should be there for the public to see.
Yes.
You know, because you have pregnant women, you have children going to these places.
Uh-huh.
You know? And the whole should have public convenience. You see, everybody talking this and talking that, and those are the
yes, and then there needs to be such conveniences all over a city like Kingston, sir.
It should be. No, look at.
I mean, you drive around Kingston, and you see men sort of leaning up against a wall.
Exactly, sir.
Right?
Exactly.
And it's all very well, I mean, to criticize what they are doing, but it is happening because the facilities don't exist.
Exactly. You're going to a place like Montego Bay, where there are tourists around.
Yes, well, I'm going to be very happy about that.
Not at all. Those places like cities,
that's so.
Like Dog.
Well, I don't think that the tourists are going to be very happy about that.
Not at all. Those places like cities should have public convenience.
Uh-huh.
You know? And they're talking about tourism. Yes, there's no harm in that. But also provide things for the basic Jamaicans.
Yes.
You know? Those are what I think.
Uh-huh.
Okay, sir?
I entirely agree with you.
Okay, sir. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Have a good Christmas, sir.
Thank you very much, and the very same to you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, sir.
This matter of reparation can be a very tricky thing, you know.
Huh?
I said this matter of reparation can be a very tricky thing.
Yes.
Now, would you say that the 6 million Jews who were allegedly killed by the Nazi and their collaborators in Europe, would you say it was an injustice?
Of course it was.
And would you say that these Jews should be compensated for that injustice?
That the Jews should be compensated?
Yes.
By the... Yes.
By whoever perpetrated that.
Yes, why not?
Okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, you know, I think Germany and Austria are still paying the Jews reparation or compensation. Now, the tricky thing is, the 6 million Jews that were killed are not here to benefit from that reparation. And I'm wondering...
But their relatives are.
Then the black people of Jamaica are not related to the slaves?
Yes, but distantly.
Mr. Perkins, blood is blood. And if it come in 10,000
Look,
years...
Sir, hold on a little bit.
Yes.
Hold on a little bit. Right here in Jamaica, if you do something and injure some person or some person dies as a consequence, right? Then you might be called upon to pay damages, right? whether, well, if the person lives, to pay damages to that person.
Yes.
If the person dies, to pay damages to some relative, right? You're talking about the same generation.
Why should it happen? But Mr. Perkins,
no,
how long now since World War II came to a conclusion?
World War II ended in 1945.
So, very few victims of the Holocaust still exist. And it seems only fair. Because let's not deny this.
But
slavery has done irreparable damage to the minds and the lives of black people in Jamaica.
You think that, well, if slavery did damage to the minds of and the lives of black people in Jamaica today,
yes,
whose fault is that? Is that their fault?
You could blame it on injustice, because when the slaves left the plantation, they weren't given anything. They left the plantation with empty heads and empty pockets.
May I point out to you that you also are a beneficiary of slavery?
I know you keep saying that, but in what way am I benefiting from slavery, Mr. Perkins?
The fact that you exist at all.
I could exist anywhere. If I'm born in a prison, and I spend my entire life in a prison.
Hold on a minute.
That doesn't mean I have to be patriotic and be grateful.
Hold on a minute.
Yes.
Right? The point that I'm making in relation to that is that the genetic streams that flowed together to create you, right, would not have flowed together had it not been for slavery.
You mean, this is a total creation of black people in Jamaica then?
What?
It's a brand new and total creation.
No.
Slavery has made up.
No, sir. Try and understand what I'm saying. One of your ancestors.
Yes.
Right?
A great-grandfather was a slave. Great-great-great-grandfather was a slave.
No, man. Go beyond that. Right?
Yes.
So was my great-grandmother, too.
Yes.
Right? And well, I mean, my ancestors were slaves, too, at some point. Mm-hmm. Right? But that is, the point that I'm making is that they came from different African tribes, West African tribes.
Yes.
Right? And would not have come together to create a family, call it, whatever.
Okay.
Right? A line of descendants, had it not been for slavery.
So you're saying...
And also, in all likelihood, that is why these peoples were brought to Jamaica. And then in all likelihood, you probably have some other genes in your body floating around somewhere. I mean, European, Indian, Chinese, whatever. Right? And I'm saying...
There are a lot of us out here that do not have Indian, Chinese, or European blood flowing through us.
I don't know.
We have that blood that flowed through the black slaves on the plantation, and it continues and persists up to this very day.
No.
And not only the blood continues and persists.
Hold on.
But the whole idea...
Hold on.
Yes,
hold on. Now. The fact that somebody is black doesn't mean that he hasn't got European blood flowing.
So what? What is so important about European blood?
Right? But what I'm saying is that you owe your existence. You and I would probably not have existed had it not been for slavery.
It's all good and well to exist, you know.
What?
It's all good and well to exist. But under what condition are we existing?
The conditions under which we are existing, sir, is determined by ourselves.
Mr. Perkins, you keep
we are free and independent.
You're keeping
Hold on just a moment. Hold on.
Perkins online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
back here. Hello?
Yes, sir.
But we have benefited in other ways too, you know.
Uh-huh.
This lovely island called Jamaica that we own today,
Yes.
right?
And
How
you
did
get
we
kicked off of it if you go and settle anywhere you're called squatters.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Is there any land in Jamaica that people without land can go and settle on it? Because this island belongs to us. And therefore, since it belongs to us, we have our right to squat anywhere.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. There are laws.
Yes.
Right? Our laws under which we live.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But we as a people... Hold on just a moment, sir.
Okay.
Hold on just a moment. Mm-hmm. We as a people own Jamaica. It is our country.
But we haven't get full ownership of it yet, you know. We are somewhat reluctant to take in control of it.
How do you mean reluctant to take control of it?
Too ignorant.
Oh, well, if that is so, then it is our fault. Right?
But if we have people like you, Mr. Perkins...
We have benefited. And
yes.
all that I'm saying, sir, is that if reparations are to be paid for slavery, then you and I will have to get out our checkbooks.
Why?
How you mean?
You know, at one point in time...
We are among the beneficiaries of slavery.
At one point in time, the only owners of slavery were the royal family.
I beg your pardon, sir?
At one point in time in Jamaica, nobody couldn't own a slave unless you're a part of the royal. The slaves belonged to the king or the queen.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. It was after a while, a few white settlers who came over, whether because they were sent over as criminal, and then later on...
is that so? I didn't know about that.
Yes, and then later on they were able to get a piece of land and own a few slaves themselves.
I see what you mean. All right.
But Mr. Perkins, we should not... you know what is really needed in Jamaica? What is needed in it is not so much a constitutional changes in it, or a reevaluation of government, fundamental changes in the education system. But what is needed is a reassessment of slavery and its aftermath on our present existence.
Oh, is that so?
By this, I mean, we can see the full extent of slavery and what it is doing to us.
What is it doing to us?
Yes, and the consequences of slavery
what is it doing to us? What is it doing to us?
Dealt with.
What is it doing to us?
You try to dismiss poverty and ignorance, among black people.
Poverty and ignorance?
Yes.
Poverty and ignorance among black people in Jamaica not caused by slavery.
Even in the great houses, there's poverty and ignorance, because there's poverty of spirit, poverty of mind, and unfortunately, the majority of us is economic poverty.
No.
Yes.
Slavery was abolished in this country, what is it, going a couple of 100 years now?
Yes.
Hold on. 1838. Coming up to 200 years.
What slavery did was to create unemployment. What slavery did to black people in Jamaica was to create unemployment. Because
don't be absurd.
Mr. Perkins,
slavery how could slavery create unemployment?
That is what the freedom of slavery created, unemployment and poverty.
No, sir.
Because we came out of serfdom. We came out of serfdom without a penny in our pockets. And we had to turn back to the same slave masters and ask for employment, and which were given slave wages to exist.
You need to go back and look at the history of it, right? When the slaves... Hold on, sir.
We lived it every day.
No.
Every day.
No. When the slaves were freed, sir.
Yeah.
Right? The estate owners wanted them to come back and work for them. Right?
Yes.
Many of them did not. They went off into the hills and settled there. And they had to... That is how they came to bring Indian and Chinese indentured workers to Jamaica.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't you think far more something else should have been given to us?
I think that
even if we went up into the hills,
sir?
Even if we went up into the hills and lived, we're still
something else like what?
We were still considered squatters.
Whatever needed... Hold on. Whatever should have happened then.
Yes.
That may a lot of things should have happened and should have happened. The fact of the matter is that we are now in 2006.
Yes.
Right? And the question is, what do we do now? Where do we go now?
And the first thing.
And I think all this talk about reparations is rubbish. And
I think it's rubbish that the Jews are asking for reparations.
Symptomatic of a kind of worthlessness.
In fact,
right?
the Jews are asking for reparation, and there's still a great deal of question of whether or not 6 million of them died.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the latest on that is, but the Jews are doing pretty well.
Why should the people of Germany?
The Jews are doing pretty well for themselves.
Why should the people of Austria pay these people forever? It seems like, because it is not over yet. In fact, you cannot even deny the Holocaust. You're sent to prison in certain parts of Europe.
Is that so?
And I think what we need is a law forbidding people like yourself to say that slavery was a great benefit to us. Because it done irreparable damage to us.
No, I never said that slavery was a great benefit to us.
It's not the best thing ever happened to black people.
No, I never said that.
It's the worst thing.
I never said that.
And it continues to affect us today.
And I don't know that it is the worst thing that ever happened. I think black people are doing things to themselves right now.
No, because we're
worse than what happened in slavery.
That is what the British have reduced us to. The British have reduced us to what we are today.
No, sir.
We are divide us.
We are doing greater
so that we
injustice.
Cannot take full control of this island by kicking our minds out of this island.
But let me just say this before you go. We are doing greater injustice to ourselves right now.
Because we are ignorant.
Right? That were done to us.
We are ignorant, Mr. Perk. We are ignorant of history. We are ignorant of the true impact of slavery on our minds.
That's why we went and shot up women and children in Tivoli Gardens.
Yeah, we are ignorant.
Right?
Ignorant.
That's why Johnny Salin was shot.
That is why the Chinese can come from Hong Kong
with impunity.
And other people can come and benefit.
Etc. All right, thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Mr. Perkins. Just 1 second. Let me turn on this radio. Mr. Perkins,
yes?
I want to wish you all the best today.
Oh, thank you very much. Very same to you.
Hope you live to see it to the new year.
Thank you.
I wanted to speak about the Bill Johnson.
About what?
Poll. The Bill Johnson poll.
The Bill Johnson poll.
Yeah, I wanted to find out this gentleman Bill Johnson. Isn't he?
Would you speak up a bit for me?
The gentleman Bill Johnson. Isn't he doesn't he have some PhD?
Would you speak directly into the
I'm speaking directly. Okay.
Yes.
Bill Johnson, doesn't he have some PhD or some? Why I'm asking now?
I don't know, sir.
Is he comes across as like a professor in the study of polling and.
Oh, is that so?
I mean, with his education, and isn't there anything else that he can do to contribute to Jamaica?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he came here as a pollster. That's how he makes his living, as I understand it.
As a pollster?
He seems to do pretty well out of it.
So after campaigning and elections are finished, what does he do?
Well, he does other kind of polling about for commercial interests and so on, I suppose.
Because I think we have so many educated people in Jamaica, and I don't think that they're putting their knowledge to the best of use to really benefit Jamaica.
Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, people will have different views about what they must do to benefit Jamaica. But I think that people are thinking in first place about benefiting themselves.
Yes, I know, but that should be at a different level. The persons who have the benefit of the higher education.
Well, hold on, sir. Well, who is to decide what an individual person like Mr. Bill Johnson should be doing?
Well, I think he is supposed to decide what.
Oh, well, all right. So, and he has done that?
Yes, but isn't there something in a person that you would want to do something that is beneficial not only to yourself?
But I think that he he feels that if people are prepared to pay him money to do polls for them,
but these
then
polls can't be right,
hold
Mr.
on a moment.
These
Then
polls
it
cannot
follows
be on legitimate grounds.
No, hold on. People make beer, and people make rum, and people make wine, and people make cake and patties and whatever, right? And grow yams and grow cattle and so on, to sell to other people who want those products. And that is the way in which they are benefiting their communities, right? Now, Mr. Bill Johnson, others persons are lawyers and doctors and so on. They are serving the community in those ways. Mr. Bill Johnson is serving the community as a pollster.
What community? Which community? I think it's a disgrace that a man with his education and his abilities is wasting his time going around and trying to spread all these nonsense. I don't know where you get. I've never been polled. I don't know. Everybody I've spoken to, they have never been polled.
Yes.
And yet still he's coming around. Comes around with
but he's not the only one doing it, so there are others too.
Foolishness about this and that and to suit a corrupt government. And trying to deceive the poor people of this country.
Hold on a moment.
Why? What? I should have said that they are not corrupt?
I don't know.
You don't know if they are corrupt?
Hold on. Who? You mean the government?
Yes.
No, that is not the issue here. The issue here is that Mr. Bill Johnson is doing a job which there are persons who want that job done and are prepared to pay him to do that job. He's doing it to their satisfaction, and he's getting his pay, and that is that. Right?
Yes.
Other people may come here and come and say that I'm talking a lot of damn nonsense here, right? And should be doing this, should be growing corn instead.
Well,
right.
Mr. Perkins.
Hold on a moment for me.
To Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Oh, yes, Mr. Perkins. I won't take up much more of his time. I just want to say that I was so embarrassed for Mr. Bill Johnson when you spoke to him the other day, trying to explain the results of the polling in the elections in St. Lucia. The garbage he spoke.
Oh, is that so?
But Mr. Perkins, you heard what he was saying, that because of the results of the polls, the people who should have voted for the losing party didn't turn out.
And those who wanted to vote for the winning party,
yes,
were energized.
Mr. Perkins, how do you sit and listen to these people?
Well,
but you know, you really have tolerance, you know. I couldn't do it.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
All the best to you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you, Mom.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. How are you this afternoon?
Not too bad, I'm fine.
Yes, just one question I would like to ask, and I would like the public also to help me to ask this question. How is it that Mr. Neville Willoughby is such a popular figure, and up until now we can't know who the person was that was involved with him in the accident?
Well...
Is this Mr. Desmond Richards, is he still here? I wonder if he's hearing me. Because I would like to hear something from him. And the media...
Desmond Richards?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the president of the Press Association?
Yes, so is he not backing out about this? It could not be Mr. Willoughby alone who was in the accident. There got to be somebody else. So we, the public, want to know who was the other person. Have a blessed afternoon.
Yes, well, I did hear on the radio or on television that the other person had been treated at hospital and released. I haven't heard that the police have taken any action in the matter.
That's what I'm saying. And who is the person?
Yes, well...
If it was a small... It could be a big figure.
Yes,
if it was a small person, you would have heard him spending this Christmas in jail.
I beg your pardon?
If it was a small person,
yes,
he would be behind bars, spending in holiday in jail.
Not necessarily, you know.
Oh, yes.
Why?
Oh, yes.
No.
We, the public, want to know who was the other person involved in this accident.
It does not follow, Mum, that the accident would have been the fault of the other person. right?
Well,
The fact that an accident occurs does not, and one person is killed, doesn't mean that the survivor was responsible.
but whether or not the person was killed or not, we the public supposed to know who was the other person involved.
I don't know why.
Sir, it's for the public interest.
I don't know, Mom. It seems to me that the issue that arises is there a liability on the part of the other person involved. If that person is found not to be liable for the accident, then what is the point of publicizing his name?
No, but if it was another little small man, his name would have been published long ago.
But we don't know whether it was a small man or a big man or a middle-sized man.
Well, I guess I would hope
We
somebody
don't know
will
whether
follow
it was a
up this
woman or what.
I would hope somebody will follow up this. Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah, you have a blessed holiday.
Same to you. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Hi, Mr. Perkins.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good. I just called to wish you all the best for the holiday.
Oh, thank you very much, and the very same to you.
Thank you so much, because I listen to you every day, so I said I'll just give you a call today.
I see. Well, that's wonderful of you.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Okay.
You know, you make my day every single day, you know.
And I hope that you will be as happy next year as you obviously are now.
After Mr. Perkins, there's nothing to be happy about.
Eh?
Happy?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, come on. You see all this thing that is happening around us, no justice. I almost cry when I really listen to and think about the Janice Allen's case.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
I tell you, Mr. Perkins, my heart pains.
Oh, yes.
Because to see, you know, it's no justice. You wonder why people just take justice in their hand here, because they don't trust the system. It's not working.
Poor Miss Millicent.
I know, and I'm a mother too, Mr. Perkins, and trust me, I have a daughter, a teenager, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so painful when you think about the whole thing.
When you think of it happening to your daughter.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, and I can never ever even imagine what she's going through.
Yes.
Because, you know, it don't happen to me, so I can't even put myself, but...
She's a strong woman, though, you know.
She is very
She's
strong.
She's a strong and very brave woman.
Very, very, Mr. Perkins. And this one needs to stay in the public eyes, and I wish she would just keep what she's doing. And that, Mr. Perkins, something will come out of it. And I must commend the Jamaican for Justice. You know, they've been really, really supportive and very good.
Richard Small?
Yes, he too.
And there are a couple of other lawyers
yes.
involved in
Mr.
it.
Perkins.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, so if I don't talk to you again for the rest of the year, you know, you just take care of yourself and, you know, stay well until I talk to you again maybe next year.
You do the same, eh?
Thank you, Mr.
And
Perkins.
I wish you a good Christmas.
Thank you
and
so much.
And as I say, a Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
As happy a New Year as it is possible to have.
I hope. I sincerely hope so.
Certainly, I hope that you will continue to laugh.
Well, Mr. Perkins, if you don't laugh, trust me.
If you don't laugh, Mom, you're sacrificing your sanity.
I know.
Martha, sometimes I'm wondering whether it is, I find myself wondering whether it might not be better to be mad in this country.
Mr. Perkins, there's so many mad people here. Trust me, they just want you know.
Maybe they're having an easier time than the rest of us who
I know,
taking pride in our sanity.
All these people just taking us for some idiots or something like that.
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Perkins, there are so much things I would talk to you about, but I can't even start because, you know, sometimes I really think about the whole thing with Sister P. It's a funny kind of prime minister, this man.
Yes? You think so? Why?
Funny kind of prime minister. She cry about everything, and trust me, I never know that she was a cry baby. I'm going to tell the political ombudsman, and I'm going to do this because I'm a woman. Nobody wanted the prime ministership more than...
I remember her telling us once that Mr. Oh Lord, what's his name? He was a member of the government.
Who?
He was her mentor. Tony
Spalding?
Tony Spalding. Right. I remember her telling us that Tony Spalding was her mentor. I don't think he responded to irritations by crying.
Well, Mr. Perkins, I just couldn't believe that. I mean, she just thinks St. Elizabeth and she's talking about the echo there in Portland. They complain about. But Mr. Perkins, that's the job of a prime minister. She's not going to get away from that. And then sometimes when I hear some people in the media talking, oh, it's not fair, he shouldn't have done this, people have a right. Come on.
Okay, I hear her drop a warning there. When she's on the road, don't form the ass. Maybe the spirit of Tony Spalding is being resurrected.
Mr. Perkins, I don't care what they want to say, you know, but about Bruce Colin. I mean, he's a leader of substance, trust me. Mr. Collins, he has gone through so much too, and I just see how he's so technical in dealing with these things.
You know, the thing that strikes one about Bruce Golding, you know, is intelligence.
Yes.
You get the impression that when you hear him talking, that you're listening to a man of some intelligence.
Yes, yes.
You know, which you don't get even with some of the PhDs.
I know. Mr. Perkins, this PhD, don't even go there. Please.
Okay.
Mr. Perkins.
Okay, Mom.
All right, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you very much. All the best to you.
You too, bye.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Oh, what a laugh she has. She certainly sort of seems to be above it all. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. I know Portland is your parish and I need to complain about what is going on.
You're a Portlander too?
Yes, sir.
Barnia?
Yes, sir.
You're Barnia?
Yeah.
Not follow land?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good, we can talk
I don't know if you've driven there lately from... I don't know if you've traveled there lately from below Nutter Bay up onto Dover before you get into the actual parish of Portland.
Yes.
Have you been there lately?
No, not recently.
Because the people are building the roads. I don't know if they know what they're doing, you know, Mr. Perkins. Because it's a right mess, I'm telling you. I heard somebody call and told you about it, and I'm telling you again. It's a mess. I mean, you know, I don't know. What what they do is they detour you onto a little curve, right? And then they build, I don't know what it is they're building, whether it's a culvert or what, because it does look like a bridge. Then when they finish that, they dig up all of the good road surface, you know, and then when they finish building whatever it is they're building, they put you back on the surface, on the road now that has no surface. So it slows down everybody crawling.
Hold on. Okay, thank you very much. Back here.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. I'm saying I don't know what it is they're doing, because when they're done building whatever I don't know if it's a big...
No, hold on a little bit.
It's a mess.
Is this the main road that goes through Windsor Castle?
They take you off it just right at a point, and they have a little curve, a curve off it, and it's called a detour. You go onto that and you go back up the top. But when they're done building whatever it is they're building, I don't call it a bridge. I don't know what it is. The old surface is dug up and then they put you back on it. I would have thought that they'd finish the road before they put you back on it. They'd come
absolutely, I should have thought so.
They're digging up all the way from below Nutter Bay, from Agwalterville, just above Agwalterville, all the way to Dover. They dig one section and they move up a little, they dig one section, and none of it is finished. Why are they doing that?
Is this the North Coast Highway?
What is not a highway, Mr. Perkins? It's a little narrow road. I don't think that part of it is going to be a highway. That could never be a highway. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. Everybody's questioning it because it's so weird. I mean, it's it slows you down to zero because you cannot, I mean, when they put you back on what was the original road, it's not a road anymore, it's just destroyed. It's destroyed totally. I mean,
I wonder what that is about.
Do you know who they are, Mr. Perkins, who are building this section of it?
Eh?
Do you know who it is who's building this section of it?
Who?
The people who are building this section, because I know it's not the French people. Who are these people who are building this section of it?
I don't have a clue.
Well, it's a mess, I'm telling you. And I think that's why Port Maria was flooded out, because what they're building there along that roadway between Anatoby and Windsor Castle is I don't know what it is.
Well, the flooding in Anatoby, in Port Maria, has been attributed to the bridge that they built over the river there.
Yeah, because even these little things that they build now, that's what I call them. We've had quite a lot of rains up there, and the underneath where they've made, the cavities for the water to run through, they're blocked up with pebbles and sand and everything already.
Yes.
And the other thing, Mr. Perkins, I need, before I go, in where I live in Windsor Castle, we have a road that goes from the main road, that goes to Port Antonio, called Vinery. I don't know if you know, it goes up to Vinery, and it goes back to Hardware Gap and Buff Bay.
Uh-huh.
That road, when I was a child, and I'm an old woman now, that road, you see, when I was growing up, it was just, they broke stones and covered it, right? So we were used to that. But afterwards, they paved it. And if you see it now, it would have been better off with the stones than it now, Mr. Perkins. It's a mess. And our MP, we don't see him, we don't know him, we don't know where he is. He never comes there, and he doesn't...
This is Mr.
Ennis.
Ennis?
Yes.
But I gather he's... Well, I don't know.
Well, whether or not he's running, Mr. Perkins, at the
I recently heard somebody saying that the likelihood is that they're going, because they can't find anybody to run down there.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's representing us now, so he should be doing something about it.
Uh-huh.
And also on my mother's land that comes off of Van Road, the parish council has turned the water into oil and has split it up totally and ruined it. And all the letters I've written to them, and I've been up there to the Roads and Works people, and they've done nothing about it, Mr. Perkins. You should see the space that is created. You get an 18-wheeler into it. And we also have a river, a Bannacar River, that they promised to river train from 1990-something and up to now. Nobody has done anything. And it's threatening all the houses in that valley. It's really in a bad way.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know where else to turn because I've written to them.
It's threatening the houses.
Yeah, it is threatening houses. The last time it came down, it threatened a supermarket that was on the main road. The next time it comes like that, we have raised enough, it's going to damage that supermarket. And there's another house that is almost destroyed, and there's another house that is dug under the front porch, almost under the front porch. And all the other houses are in its way because each time it comes, it gets wider and wider, and so it's almost taking away these houses. The people have appealed and nobody cares. I mean, Portland to me is a forgotten parish. St. Mary and Portland, nobody cares about those parishes. It doesn't matter how much you beg and pray, nobody notices.
I don't know, Mum.
There are a lot of people down there without jobs, Mr. Perkins.
There are a lot of people in other parishes that are going to say that their parish is the forgotten parish.
No, I think we are, though.
Maybe what is happening is that Jamaica is the forgotten Jamaica.
Yeah, we got a nice harbour up there in Port Antonio. Nobody's doing anything. I heard Mr. Bushshot saying he's not coming up there unless proper infrastructure is put in. But he could help, too. He could do something if he really wanted to improve the lot of Portlanders, because we could do with some hotels in that area and some better supermarkets. Nobody comes to Portland, Mr. Perkins. Nobody puts up supermarkets or anything like that. These big stores and things, they go down the west and they ignore the north altogether. I don't know why.
Is that so?
Of course, but you know that. What infrastructure have you seen in Portland and St. Mary that you can talk about? You tell me. I mean, commercial. Let's leave industry out of it. What about commercial? How many have you seen up there? I'm asking you.
I haven't been that way too often recently, But I know what you're talking about.
Portlanders are nice people, They're not warsome and they're intelligent, and we need to get some of the firms that are opening up in other places up there. So I'm just appealing that if any of our parish council listen, Mr. Benny White, that he could send somebody down to come and look at what the water is doing to my mother's land. The person, you think he's listening?
Mr. Benny White?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't a clue.
Isn't he the mayor now?
He's the mayor now?
Yeah. He took over from the other gentleman.
Yes, but I don't know what has he done since he's been
mayor?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing?
I phoned up there one day to speak to him and his secretary. I wrote him and he didn't answer, and I phoned to speak to his secretary. And she said he wasn't there, but she'd give him a message, and I still haven't heard anything.
Oh? So they have
yes, he wanted to be mayor. Now he's mayor. He doesn't care a hang about anything.
He's having fun.
It's really irritating. Mr. Perkins, you don't know how annoying it is, you know. If you saw my mother's land, you would understand. It's very irritating, frustrating for the people who live in that valley.
Yes.
You know, one of these days when it takes away somebody's house, then they'll be sorry because then they're going to have to refund these people. And I'm going to make sure it happens because I live in that area. I'm not going to make them get away with it. You know, because it just can't work anymore. So we need a government that cares about people.
Yes.
You just shut your ears and ignore people when they...
That is absolutely true, Mom.
And that is what is happening to us.
That's our greatest need in Jamaica at the moment.
Yeah, they shut their ears and it doesn't matter to them because they're okay, Jack. I'm all right, Jack. You can stay there and be what you want to be, you know.
Yes.
We need to do better, Mr. Perkins. Anyway,
yes, and nobody but the people can make it better.
But I'm not going to stop until they fix it, you know, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Because I'm very stubborn. I'm as stubborn as they are.
You sound
determined.
Have
a nice holiday.
Eh?
I say you have a nice holiday.
You too.
Okay, then.
Have a good Christmas. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Mr. Mutty Perkins, good afternoon to you.
How are you doing?
Season's greetings.
Thank you. Same to you.
I heard you and Frank earlier having a little conversation. And, you know, I understand the gist of what you were saying and what you meant. And I think rather than using the word gainfully employed, that there were... Rather than using the word gainfully employed, that the slaves were gainfully employed, I would say that...
No, I didn't say that.
Or they were employed.
Oh, I said that in relation to the question of the issue of unemployment today.
Yes.
That the slaves were the slave masters.
Right.
Were able to put the slaves to work.
Right. And had them occupied.
And had them fully occupied.
Right.
Today in Jamaica,
right.
A very high proportion of our people are unoccupied economically.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the people are expecting handouts. And everybody wants to get manna from the sky free.
Is that really so?
Right. Or we have a lot of land. We have a lot of programs going on. Right, everybody's coming to the city to find work, and the only work they can find when they're unemployed is to go and covet other people's things, steal, plunder, pillage, rob, murder.
But why aren't there opportunities, sir?
A lack of ambition.
You think so?
I think, yeah, but the ambition lies in self-respect.
Well, I think that we have some deficiencies there.
Right.
But why don't we have a state that sets out, first of all, to provide educational opportunity for the people, that seeks to create in Jamaica the kind of environment that would be attractive to investment so that people have opportunities for employment.
And to understand that,
I
think we have to understand that politicians, once they get into power, like to retain power. And to retain power, they keep the people in ignorance. And ignorance is a sin. Right? And these people are so ignorant. And they're even ignorant to the point that they don't even realize that they can get some education to edify themselves. Right?
Well, look here, sir. Lee Kuan Yew was a politician, you know.
Right.
Huh?
Yes.
Lee Kuan Yew was a politician.
Yes.
Or still is.
Yes.
Why was he prepared to educate his people, to create opportunities for their employment, and to produce the kind of outcomes that have been produced in Singapore? Why is it that in Bermuda, politicians have led Bermuda in the direction in which they have?
Because the man is genuine.
Eh?
The man is genuine. Going back to the old days, there's very, very little difference between the policeman, the clergyman, right in the village, and the politician.
Hold on 1 minute for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Yes.
Yes? Hello?
Well, yeah, but we left off where we're talking about the politicians and keeping the people in ignorance.
Yes, you were saying.
Right. I said the aim of the politicians is to keep the people ignorant. When you keep them ignorant, you can control them.
But that depends upon what the politicians themselves are aiming at. If the politicians want to create a country, a decent kind of and decent and prosperous country, they wouldn't behave like that. They wouldn't want to keep the people ignorant. Right?
You're right.
The very fact that if it is so that they want to keep the people ignorant, and if it is not so, then one wonders how they have what is it that has caused them to keep the educational system in the state it is. Then that tells you, of a kind of treachery that they're working on the people of this country.
Well, see, the politicians are good enough to get the vote because they can talk the talk.
Yes.
But when they get into power, they can't walk the walk. Because the greatest thing Jamaica has to offer the world is education.
Yes.
And in every country, in every part of this world, you find Jamaicans holding senior positions.
Is that so?
Even in the government. Sure. I've seen it. I've met them. Right?
Well, sir,
and what we have to export is our education, because of the funds that can be sent back to this country, right? Just like the Mexicans send back U.S. dollars to Mexico, right? Is just that in exporting of Jamaicans, right? When they go abroad, not exporting them, but when they go abroad to better themselves, and they seek positions in countries, very senior positions, many of them very involved in the government of the day in some of these countries. It's unbelievable.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the politicians want. Well, I mean, they're probably looking only for themselves, and keeping the people in a situation in which they can better manage them.
But the people can show their value, their attitudes with the vote.
Yes, well.
Right? And that's where the power lies.
Well, very sad.
Well?
Very sad, because power could lie in doing good too.
True.
But,
could
lie even more in doing good.
Huh?
I say power could lie even more in doing good.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Right? I mean, every Jamaican knows about retribution.
Yeah.
Right? You reap what you sow.
Yes.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
We all know that. But we're not practicing it. But I guess we can do it one by one. One person.
Yes. Well, I don't know. It's, but what is bothering now is, where is this country going? I see that an article in the Observer is telling us this morning that things are not falling apart.
Things may appear to be falling apart, because it's not going the way we want it. But I don't want to sound corny, but what is happening is a result of a collective consciousness of the people.
I beg your pardon?
What is happening is due to a result of a collective consciousness of the people.
A collective
consciousness. In other words, what is happening is because that is the way we are thinking, and that's the way we are manifesting.
Well, let me ask you something, sir.
Yeah.
Things don't stand still,
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
They're constantly changing.
Agreed.
Right. Now, when things come to the point that they're at in Jamaica today, what reason do we have for thinking that the change is going to be by way of improvement rather than deterioration?
No
you don't get the impression that we are in a situation which is characterized by rot.
But no guarantee. But I tell you what, the people can call for more accountability from the politicians. Right?
But that is not happening. And, what I'm saying is that the impression that one is getting is of things getting worse all the time. and of a greater potential for things to get worse than for them. When you get to the position of having the level of crime that we have in Jamaica, right, it is going to be far easier for things to deteriorate than for them to improve.
No, why are we having that level of crime? Why are we having that level of crime? I mean, we talk about the police doing everything, but why? What is causing it?
Well, what is causing it, it seems to me, is a lack of opportunity for people to go through legitimate channels to achieve what they want to achieve.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Because of the absence of those legitimate opportunities, people are turning to illegitimate ones in order to put food on them table.
Right.
And when they look around and see what is going on in high places, right?
Mm-hmm. The example is not being set.
The example that is being set is one of taking advantage of whatever is available.
Yeah, but,
right?
you know, the thing is this, that I've always maintained, and this is like from about 30, 35 years ago, that what we need to do, Jamaicans are terrific sports people.
Is a what?
Terrific sports people. There are a lot of young kids on the road, right, and there's a lot of open space. One thing we have is land. And just driving around, you don't see very many sports fields. And you don't see very many parks. You don't see sport fields where the young kids can go and play sports. Whether it's cricket or soccer or whatever. Right? And you don't see very much participation coming from the corporations or the people in terms of doing social work and contributing towards.
Well, what about the job opportunities?
No, but let me tell you what. The job opportunities, I agree, but the job opportunities are left to the politicians to create the environment, to the businessmen to create the association, right? To open up the opportunities for people to get jobs. But in the meantime, there's still a tremendous amount, probably over 50% of the population that are kids on the streets trying to survive. And these kids need an outlet for energy. Right? Not only need an outlet for energy, but they need to be geared into some form of discipline. And sports is a fantastic way. And not only that, but in doing the sports, they're vying among each other. And we may turn out to have the next World Cup team in soccer, or the next cricket team. Or we may be able to have the next basketball player, or rugby player, or American football player. We don't know. But all these kids are there, right? And when they feel good about themselves, and sports is a very inexpensive way of allowing individuals to feel good about themselves, or to get rid of excess energy. I still go back to the point. I do not see very much participation from the corporations, from the individuals, right, in doing social work to make the connection between the have-nots and the haves. I mean, to coin the phrase.
But the way to make the connection between the have-nots and the haves is not to try to secure a more equal distribution of what exists.
I agree.
But to give to the have-nots the opportunity of producing more, right?
Yes.
So that they themselves can have.
No, I totally agree with you.
Right?
But, you know, we got to
But
start.
that is not happening.
Yeah, but we have to start somewhere. Right? We have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And the law of justice states that justice must not only be done, but it must appear to be done.
No, it must manifestly and undoubtedly be seen to be done.
Right, exactly.
And that is not, in my view, happening with Janice Allen, as it has not happened with Michael Gale, as it does not happen with Patrick Genius, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, but without having to call names and identify various situations. Just generally speaking, I personally think that the minute we decide to allocate more sports fields around the city and around the country, but mainly in the cities where the crime is the greatest, right? And provide clubhouses, right, and provide the outlet for these kids who are the future of the country, these kids, many of whom are the ones creating, right, the misfortune that's taking place, right? Once we allow these kids to be able to get rid of their excess energy, to learn a sport, to excel in a sport, right? They're walking and kicking stone on the streets. So if we can get them to do it in sports, on the sports field.
I seriously wonder, sir, where the problem with these young people is excess energy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of them don't have one good meal for the day. Very often.
I agree.
Right? But it isn't that they have excess energy.
Well, they're feeling hostile towards the society.
Well, maybe so, because they feel that the society is hostile towards them.
Yeah, but the hostility is a form of excess energy.
Huh?
The hostility is a form of negative energy.
When a man is hungry, he goes out and tries to find some food.
I agree.
But that isn't excess energy he's using.
No, it's negative energy in terms of the way he goes about it. But what I'm saying to you is that even with these clubhouses and these clubs and these sports fields, etc., we're concentrating the kids and the young people into specific areas where it is easier to communicate with them in terms of running courses, classes, educational classes, because we had them concentrated into various clubs. Right? So you're able to maintain communication with them and contact with them, and you're able to help them, and we're able to do a lot of social work effectively, rather than having them scattered all over the place, not knowing where they are. I'm maintaining to you that a way to start 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And I'm maintaining that a way to do this is literally for us to get on a program.
Yes.
Right?
So you think that sport is the solution?
No, that's not what I said. I said to you 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
Yes, but it is never first step that is the start of a journey of 1,000 miles.
You can't complete the 1,000 miles unless you start making the first step. You cannot complete the 1,000 miles unless you make the first step.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that a lot of first steps are made that don't end up in 1,000 miles.
Oh, we know that. We know that. But let's not start off thinking negatively. Right?
Yes. All right, sir. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Thank you very much. We're back online. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. I'm one of your first-time callers. I'm a very keen to your program.
Thanks for the Christmas gift.
All right. I'm a young listener, quite young, still attending school. And
you're what?
Still attending school, a young person. And we are faced with so much trials as young people because they expect so much of us. And the opportunities in this country do not suit us because I'm in a country where...
your voice is being distorted.
Distorted?
Yes. You're moving around?
No, I'm not moving around. I'm stationed one place.
Okay. Would you speak directly into the mouthpiece of the phone?
Okay. I'm saying that we are faced with trials and we don't have the opportunities that are necessary in this country. Yes. We are not allowed to get working opportunities, valid education.
Yes.
So.
Quite true.
And we are just neglected. And I think that the reason for this is because how the government is established. Because we're not kept in school long enough, by the way, because as you know, that 11th grade that's where it stops, and only the few go to 6th form. And this year was one of the most crowded years at my school too, because our 6th form went over 50%.
What?
It turned down. It went over. It surpassed 50% of the students who applied last year in lower 6. And the 6th forms are crowded. 6 students to one teacher, and there's not like individual attention for us, and we're being neglected.
Yes.
And then again, if for the few that can afford to go to university and who can't afford to go, we are not. When we leave school and seek employment, getting jobs like wholesale work and store clerks and so on. And if you apply for a position in a good firm or a good company, they want experience. Yes. And I'm saying, how can you have experience just leaving school? That's impossible. That's quite impossible.
Yes.
How can you have experience and just leave school? So I have been making this recommendation at school and to various people that I think they should incorporate private sector companies and public sector companies. We do community service, but instead of doing community service, we could do voluntary work and add up to experience hours. So if we don't get a chance to go to university, I do know that is less than 5% of Jamaicans can afford to go to university, and that's a startling amount. And I'm just saying that the government could establish a way that we could do free labor, but many of us are willing to do it, Mr. Perkins. It's not like we want better for ourselves. We want better for this country. And if we are the generation that they're depending on to build this country, and we're deprived of the necessities to accomplish what we want, we're going to want to do the SATs, we're going to want to go to foreign university, and we're not going to come back. And the country is just going to go on a downfall. It's spiraling out of control already. So I think it's going to become worse. There's no better for this country. At the rate how things are going, no better for this country. And as a student, as a young person, I've been seeing this happening from before I was born. So it's still occurring. And the little improvement that will make will take steps backwards. Moving forward and going backwards, Mr. Perkins.
You know, Mom, people like Mr. Greenspan, who claim to be interested in empirical data, should talk to people like you. And he would probably have a better idea of what is happening in this economy.
Yes, because Mr. Perkins, I'm listening to people calling and telling that there are no opportunities for young people and so on.
Yes.
But I think they should hear it from one young person themselves. Because we are faced with the challenges that we should get good education, which education is not free, Mr. Perkins. And I think the government should make an investment, because if you invest in human resources, there's a way the country can go.
One of the things that government needs to consider in this country, Mom, is whether Jamaica can afford, not whether you can afford to educate your young people, but whether you can afford not to educate them. Right?
Yes, I understand, Mr. Perkins. And I think young people should appeal and draw attention, because we're just sitting down and taking it lightly. And then when we grow up, we're going to be the ones that say, government now do nothing for we, and we're going to block road and we're going to have barrage of children.
Yes.
It's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a cycle. It's not going to stop, Mr. Perkins. It's not going to stop.
Well, I agree with you, Mom. That is a serious problem in this country.
And
we do not regard our people as a really precious asset that we should be doing our best to bring to their full potential of performance.
And as I say, Mr. Perkins, each day the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. There is no middle class in Jamaica again. It's either you're extremely rich or you're extremely poor.
Because,
I'm not saying that the government doesn't do anything for us. Can you have certain scholarships in place to support the needy? However, Mr. Perkins, if you know who do the scholarships, it's not the poor people who do the scholarship exams. Rich people who have it already, who live in care gardens and those places, those are the ones doing those scholarship exams and saying, you can say, back in the bread of poor man mouth. We are the ones who should, I think the government should ensure that people from low-class communities establish a fund to see if you see a person trying working. You should help them, right? And the person who, for example, the scholarship examinations at University of the West Indies. Just to pay for the exam fee, I don't think nobody wants, poor people like myself don't want to do that exam, although I want to go to university. But when I look at student loan, and I look at loans from the bank, and I know people up to this day who haven't finished paying their student loans. And I have nightmares about taking a student loan. And I want to further my education and so on and so forth, but there's no opportunity.
Yes.
No opportunity whatsoever.
You're not prepared to take on a student loan?
I am not sure. If it comes to that point, I will take a student loan. I would take a student loan. Mr. Perkins, I'd like to draw your attention. The ICC World Cup cricket thing, I find this very amusing, Mr. Perkins.
ITT?
ICC World Cup cricket. The World Cup cricket thing that's coming to Jamaica.
Huh?
The World Cup cricket that is coming to Jamaica.
Oh, the cricket.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. I find something very amusing about this. I see that the only time this country fix roads and fix infrastructure and give hospitals equipment and so on is when this coming. Should have a World Cup cricket every year then?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Think of how the hospitals would be fixed and the roads would be fixed and the garbage would be cleaned up and the water supply would...
Yes, Mr. Perkins, I tell you, Jamaica moves like a person. You know, a person who would never clean them house yet, and as they get look at visitors, they run to make it look like you're somebody.
Yes.
That's how the country is moving.
Yes, but there's another side to it.
I know.
It is that those in authority in Jamaica have no real respect for the Jamaican people, you know. The Jamaican people can live with garbage all around them. But when the people them coming from abroad, then you have to clean it up. Make it look good.
It's true, Mr. Perkins. It's a serious thing. And as I said, this country is just spiraling downwards.
I think so. All
right, Mr. Perkins, I'm so glad I got my
well, it was nice talking to you.
Opinion.
And, you know, don't give up.
I won't, Mr. Perkins.
No. All right?
All right. Enjoy the holidays. And
have a good Christmas.
All right, you too.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mutty.
Yes.
Can I just talk to you off the line, please? Can I speak to you offline?
I'm not hearing you very well.
Can I speak to you offline?
Offline?
Yeah.
Well, not at the moment.
Okay.
You can call me back later on.
Okay, well, I'm going to do that. All right. Okay.
Call me back at about 2:30, sir.
Will do.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
I want to tell you that I've been listening to you online for quite a while, and I'm one of those Jamaicans that live abroad.
Yes.
And
where are you, in the States?
Yes, I'm in the States. I'm actually in Texas.
In Texas?
You know, Mr. Perkins, one of the things that is really scary, to use a word, for us Jamaicans who are abroad, who are trying to make a better life for ourselves, to educate ourselves. Many of my friends are doctors and businessmen and people who are Jamaicans who are doing well.
Yes.
And I tell you, when you get online and you listen to the violence, and we call our people back home and speak to my parents, and they tell me about the violence in Kingston and all over the island and all of that.
Yes.
It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad.
It is very, very sad.
It's very sad. And the sad part about it is that we want to come home. We want to come home. We want to contribute to Jamaica. We want people to understand that the Jamaicans abroad are no different from the Jamaicans back home. All of us are black people. All of us came from Africa, right? We ended up in different spots, in different places, depending on where the ship dropped the folks off, right?
Yes.
And I want us to understand that we have to fix the crime problem. And not just fixing it for us Jamaicans who are abroad so we can come home into a crime-free environment. No, fix it for everybody.
But we're not going to fix... We're not going to fix the crime plan, sir. The crime problem, sir. Unless we can fix the economic problem.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
We are also, as Jamaicans, we have to get away.
And we're not going to fix that unless we can fix the political problem. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
because a large part of our problem is that the politicians are where they are for their own benefit, as they see it, rather than for the benefit of the people of the country.
It is so critical that we understand that we're in a global environment. We're in a race. We're in a race. Jamaica is not an isolated island just out there where we can do whatever we want to do and it's not going to affect anything. No. We operate with the cognitive...
Hold on for me. It's going to be a rather longish break, you know. But if you can hold on.
Okay.
Okay? Good. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Yeah, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
I would like to speak to the issue of the police force and the situation with security in Jamaica right now. You know, what's happening in Jamaica right now is that there's a deep sense of mistrust for the police force.
A deep sense of?
A deep sense of insecurity, a deep sense of no confidence in the police forces in Jamaica.
Yes.
But, you know, I wanna talk about something. I wanna hear your reaction to this. I strongly believe that we need to upgrade the standards for getting inside of the force, inside the police force. We need to upgrade the educational standards for getting in, the physical standards for getting in, and make it an elite force. I know this sounds really, maybe to some people like, why do we need that? I'm going to tell you why. If you upgrade the police force and cause every little girl and boy running around the community to look up and say, man, I would like to be a police, because you know why? These folks usually are well educated. They treat people right and all the rest of it. Then when you educate the police, you increase the actual salary that the police are now making. That will cut out the corruption. Because there are a lot of people right now in the police force, a lot of police, they're going to accept a lot of bribes because guess what? They're not well paid.
The police force in Jamaica, this essential problem of the police force is that it is overburdened and underpaid.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
So we need to upgrade the police force.
Right?
Okay? We need to upgrade the police force in that sense. When you do that, also set very strict standards for the police.
Yes.
You notice what I'm doing? I'm not being unfair to the police. I'm saying, listen, I want you guys to be more educated, the standard to be up there in the sky, but guess what? With all the privileges and your big house and your car on the side, any police that gets into any problems, it's not even 1, 2, 3. You're out of the force. Whenever you do that, Mr. Perkins, you're going to start noticing something over a couple of years, maybe 5 years maximum, that you're going to have a lot of the problems being cut out of what's happening in Jamaica right now, with people being, unfair to the police, because some people right now are even being unfair to the police, and some people have legitimate reasons for criticizing the police. But if you set that standard for the police force, you will make things better.
But you're going to have to set that standard, sir, not just for the police force, but for the public service, right?
Absolutely.
And beginning with the government. The values that you are seeking to give expression to there. Right. Does the government hold those values? Is the government really...
All of us. All of us need to hold those values.
Precisely. But do we?
Every citizen.
Do we?
You know what it's called, Mr. Perkins? Personal responsibility. That's what it's called. We have to do that on an individual basis.
Yes. But we do not in this country, sir, respect the citizen of Jamaica. Right? If he is wealthy and fair-skinned and, lives in an executive mansion, well, fine, that is one thing. But if he's black and, lives in a ghetto and
then we can't treat
has
him bad.
nothing in the way of wealth and so on, nobody has any respect for him.
No, we got to stop that. We got to stop. We got to realize that, listen, whether you're fair skin, you're blue skin, you have blue eye, brown eye, or whatever, we're Jamaicans, for crying out loud. We're Jamaicans. If you have any connection with Jamaica, and you understand that that little island sitting out there in the Atlantic is so precious, whenever you understand that, when it gets inside of your brain and your heart, that's when you're going to start acting different. A lot of young people and a lot of folks who are older who just live their lives without any responsibility and don't carry in their hearts this love for Jamaica, they'll always succumb to crimes. They'll always succumb to bribery, fraud, and you name the whole list of other crimes that go down the line.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We're running out of time. All the best to you. Have a good Christmas. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Mutty.
I know that voice.
I just called to wish you a Merry
Oh, thank you very much, and the very same to you.
And I hope for the best.
Yes.
For the new year. I can't wish you.
You're hoping for the best.
Hope for the best.
You don't think the best might be too far away?
Well,
and beyond our immediate reach?
When I see the foolishness that's going on, I can't be very hopeful.
Yes.
I mean, when the Bank of Jamaica reduces interest rate on literally Christmas Eve.
Yes.
I mean, you don't change interest rate unless you expect the market to react.
Yes.
There's no market out there on Christmas Eve. Everybody's out buying presents.
Yes.
So why bother changing it?
But I hear the Bank of Jamaica giving a warning to people, imploring people not to invest in some American company.
There is a attempt to, between an American company and a Jamaican company, to mobilize capital.
Yes. And I get the impression that what the concern is, that with the fall of interest rates, people might be wanting to move their capital into US dollars.
Well, there has been some of that. Okay, but they are reducing interest rate further at this time. It's a joke. I mean, you don't deal with the market on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. There's no reaction. You don't change things unless you want to generate a reaction.
Yes.
And a bunch of jokers is out there knocking down the rate today on Christmas Eve.
But does that mean that the rates are going to go back up in January?
Well, anything is possible next year, Mutty, because we don't know half the story.
We don't know half the story?
No.
When you say that, what do you mean, Mr. Buck?
Oh, Mutty, there's a lot under the carpet that has to come out in the next 6 months. And it coming out is dependent on the election.
On the election?
Yeah.
Well, the election might well depend on the bulges, to what extent there are bulges in the carpet.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That is definitely.
Because there's going to be a point beyond which you can't keep concealing much more.
That is the whole point. And I mean, the spin doctors are spinning out there like crazy.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Really?
Oh, a lot of spinning is going on.
I mean, I can't believe it.
Yes, but, well, what else do they do?
But what is frustrating, Mutty, is that there is no consistency in the so-called, for want of a better description, empirical analysis.
Empirical analysis.
What is taking place?
There's no consistency.
No. You see one thing today, and you see another thing tomorrow, and you look at the same numbers.
Yes.
declining numbers.
But you know what bothers me about that, Mr. Buck? I was saying earlier this morning. It is as if we're operating an old donkey cart, right? The donkey have sore foot, broke foot, and the wood in the cart is rotting in places. And our empirical analysis is concerned with that, and how we can get the cart back on the road, And we are saying that from the look of things, next year the cart will be working a little better, and maybe the donkey foot will heal up and so on. We're not thinking how we can graduate, how we can move ourselves from the level of the old donkey cart to the level of an efficient, modern form of transportation.
Move from a donkey cart to a truck.
To a truck, yes.
No.
We're not thinking of that.
No. That's not our scenario. We are interested in maintaining the donkey cart as long as we can.
Yes. And so we hear about interest rates and exchange rate and, inflation and budget deficit and all this kind of thing. Not about how we're going to move this economy from where it now is, which is far from being able to satisfy the people of the country.
Of course not.
Right? And towards a point where we can hope to satisfy the people.
There are two fundamental issues out there that are not being dealt with.
Yes.
One, how are we going to generate the additional revenue to bring into the taxman so he can service the country?
Yes.
Whether it's the roads, the hospitals, or whatever.
The roads, the health system, the educational system, security, whatever.
The second one is how are we going to deal with the deteriorating trade and balance?
Yes.
Good? Which continues to escalate.
Yes.
And I mean, you can finance it by your remittances now, and the fact that some tourism action is going on.
Yes.
But when the tourism action done?
Yes.
On all the hotel bills, and you can't find people to put in them.
Well, what happens, to be specific about it, what happens when the crime rate reaches the point where the tourists are no longer going to be wanting to come here? Shouldn't we be thinking about that now and trying to anticipate and prevent it?
No, we don't look that far, Mutty. We just try to survive today.
We're living day to day.
We're living day to day, one day at a time. But it's a bad situation. What happened to my friend Omri?
I don't know. He's out of the island as far as I'm aware.
Smart fellow.
It seems to have migrated.
Boy, smart fellow.
Eh?
Smart fellow, I said.
Yes, well.
Us clowns are sitting out here.
Well, that means that you and I are not so smart.
Of course you're stupid.
Oh, Lord, poor us. Anyway, try have yourself a good Christmas, huh?
Me, I just cool out, Mutty.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes.
And you take care, say hello to the good wife.
I will indeed.
And have a good Christmas.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best. We'll be in touch. Okay, that brings us to the end of Perkins Online for today. May I wish you all a very... I don't want to sound hypocritical, but, I wish you could have a happy Christmas, right? And that we can look forward to something more hopeful in the new year. Okay? So long.